Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? My name is Doodles. Now today's episode is going to be a little bit different than usual. Normally I would do something like take a band and go through the back catalogue and rank them from worst to best. But today I thought I would let you peek behind the curtains a little bit, just a little bit of behind the scenes, because I'm a musician, or more importantly I'm a guitar player. So I thought today I would take a look at some of the players that I admire or inspire me. So this is my top 10 guitar players ranked. My current number 10 is Rob Flynn from the band Machine Head. He is the lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist, although he has been known to unleash a solo or two. And if I describe Rob Flynn's guitar work, I would just say crushing. Rob Flynn can really go. He is just an absolute riff machine. If I've got some anger that I want to take out, or if I want to just listen to some heavy metal and some just heavy crushing guitar riffs, Machine Head are usually my go-to band. Absolutely love them. And you'll probably gather from a lot of this list that I really prefer rhythm players over lead players. Being mainly a rhythm player myself, I do like the whole riffs, listening to certain riffs and sort of getting to them rather than the actual like solos in the songs. Riffs do appeal to me more. So you'll see that a lot in this list, but if I want to listen to some heavy guitar and some crushing metal riffs, then Machine Head are usually my go-to band. Now, two of my favourite songs from the band are Davidin and Aesthetics of Hate. Absolutely fantastic songs, just full of heavy riffing, and I highly recommend you go check them out. So currently number 9 is Rabia Masad and Rob Chapman from the band Dorje, and Rabia is also part of Tosca along with Dave and Ben from the band Dorje too. When I originally made this list, Rabia was the only one that was on the list, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought I had to include Rob too. Like I said, with Rob Flynn, I'm mainly a rhythm player, so although Rabia is on a whole other level when it comes to lead playing, absolutely phenomenal, I'd say for my own personal playing, Rob inspires me more as a musician. I'd say both musicians are highly underrated. Well, I wouldn't say underrated as such. I think the people that know of them and listen to them highly respect them and highly praise their work, but they have unfortunately not got the mainstream recognition that they deserve or that they should be getting, because their ability is just absolutely phenomenal. Along with the rest of the band of Dorje, absolutely fantastic musicians. Their music is always on point, and they are phenomenal guitar players. And Rob pretty much pioneered this. What I am doing now is pretty much all down to Rob Chapman, amongst a few other people, but Rob was one of the pioneers, along with the likes of E-Rock and other sort of similar early starters on YouTube. Rob really did help revolutionise the way that we could do guitar reviews on YouTube. Basically made it a thing. It wasn't really a big thing prior to Rob Chapman and a few other people getting into it. And so obviously as a YouTuber, then I owe a lot to Rob, and he obviously inspires that, and he continues to inspire the way that I create content. And also the fact that Rob started up Chapman Guitars, which a lot of you guys would know, absolutely fantastic. I really do like his business sense. Something I would love to do something like that, whether it was building guitars or amps or pedals. I'd love to get into that sort of like that business, that side of the music industry, and that side of the guitar playing will be the business aspect. So I really sort of do admire Rob for the fact that he's gone and done it, and hopefully I can follow in his footsteps one day. So who knows, but either way, those two guys, whether it's from a business standpoint, a YouTube standpoint, or just a guitar playing standpoint, those two guys really, really inspire me. So currently number 8 is Dimebag Darrell. No introduction needed, you guys know what Dimebag is. Dimebag was the lead guitar player in the band Pantera, one of the most influential metal bands of the last 30 years. Unfortunately, Dimebag was murdered on stage in 2004, which absolutely just devastated the music industry. I remember hearing about it, I was like 14 at the time. And I just couldn't believe that someone had got murdered on stage. Honestly, as a guitar player, my dream was to go and play the big stages. That sort of died down a bit now. I'm actually quite content just doing this whole YouTube thing. But obviously when I was young, I wanted to go play in front of 100,000 people and sort out stadiums. And just knowing that something like that could happen in the world, that was something that no one ever really considered a possibility, and that just absolutely just tore the metal community apart. But thankfully, the way the metal community is, everyone just picked themselves back up and just got back to creating awesome music and just living the dream. The metal community is probably one of the strongest communities out there, and one of the sort of most band of brothers type of communities, and everyone's rallied round and everyone just continues to remember Dime but continues to honour him in the metal music that he's making. He continues to inspire people. A lot of new musicians now when they get into metal owe a lot to Dimebag Darrell. Absolutely fantastic. And I don't really need to say it because chances are you already know who he is, you probably already know his work, but if you haven't heard anything, then check out songs such as Cowboys from Hell, 5 Minutes Alone, that was the song I was trying to think of, and Walk. Absolutely fantastic musician, hugely influential, and one that is dearly missed even to this day.
I went to a shrink to analyze my dreams. She says it's like a sex that's bringing me down.
So people may be surprised to see Billy Joe Armstrong ahead of guys like Dimebag Darrell, but as a musician, a guitar player, and just a music lover in general, where pop punk and metal are my two passions, I listen to both side by side, and Billy Joe Armstrong needs no introduction. He is the lead vocalist and guitar player of the band Green Day. The band pretty much pioneered the whole 90s pop punk movement, and continues to inspire millions and millions of musicians to this day. Green Day, they've done it all, from starting out in the early years to getting their success with Dookie, to going on to gain even bigger success with American Idiot, and they just continue to thrive, selling out arenas and releasing fantastic records even to this day. And as a musician, my style is pretty much pop punk with a hint of metal, so I look up to Billy Joe Armstrong and I take a lot of influence from Green Day in my own songwriting, so that's of course why he ranks where he does, and he just had to be included. But he's not the only pop punk guitar player on this list. There'll be a couple more as we get a bit further down, but without further ado, let's get to number 6. So coming at number 6 is Mark Tremonti from the band Alter Bridge, as well as his solo project Tremonti and earlier on his career Creed. I've been a huge Mark Tremonti fan for the last few years. I saw him live in 2012. I didn't even know he had a solo project going, but when I saw him support Slash, I was just absolutely blown away. I'd always respected his work but never really followed him, and when I heard his solo project, I was just mad. All I was is an absolutely fantastic album. When his set was over, I went straight out to the merch desk and bought it and blasted it all the way home from the gig. Absolutely fantastic, and I've been hooked on his music ever since. So whether he is out there singing, being the lead vocalist and delivering some crushing metal riffs with Tremonti, or whether he's the lead guitar player playing stadiums in Alter Bridge, or back in the day with Creed, because despite a lot of people give Creed shit, they were a good band and they did create catchy songs. They're pretty much the Nickelback before Nickelback were about, so when they were about but not really that famous. People give them shit, but they were still a fantastic band, don't care what you say. But Mark Tremonti is an absolutely fantastic player. His signature PRS is one of the nicest guitars I've ever played. I have more fun playing that guitar than I have with any other guitar in my musical career so far. I really wish I never walked out the door without that guitar that day. That was absolutely fantastic. But if you haven't heard it yet, definitely check out Alter Bridge. Definitely check out his solo stuff. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by it, and that is why he is number 6 on my list. So pop punk makes an appearance once again, this time with Derek and Dave from the band Sum 41. As I said when I was talking about Billy Joe, I said that my own playing style was pop punk with a hint of metal, and I'd say if I had to compare myself to another band, I would say Sum 41 is probably as close as I can get with my own music. I look up to them so much. My music is pretty much pop punk metal, and that is exactly how I describe Sum 41 too. So whether you've got the bouncy hooks of Fat Lip and Into It Deep, or the heavy Metallica style riffing and soloing from the likes of the Bitter End, Sum 41 can do it all. They can hang with Blink-182 and they can hang with Metallica. Absolutely fantastic. I followed them since Okay They Know Filler came out in 2001, right up until their latest album, which came out last month, and their sort of lead single Fake My Own Death. I've been hooked on them for the last 15 years, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. Right, so next up on my list is He Day from the band Extra Pan, as well as his solo stuff He Day with Spread Beaver. I've actually been a fan of He Day only for 4 months now. Since like July was when I first heard them, so it's only literally 4 months since I very first heard Extra Pan, and I've just been hooked ever since. Listening to them on almost a daily basis, pretty much throughout the day. I've become insanely obsessed and hooked on this band. Absolutely fantastic. Why I haven't heard about them sooner, I do not know. Sadly, He Day passed away at the age of 33 in 1998, but during his short life, he inspired pretty much a whole country Him and the fellow members of X Japan revolutionised the rock scene. They pretty much created the whole visual kei movement, and they went on to sell out the Tokyo Dome a record 19 times, I believe it was, back in their original 10 years of band. Unfortunately, the band split in 1997 and Hide passed away in 1998. The band, however, did get back together in 2007, released a song for the Saw 4 soundtrack called 4 or IV. It's called IV, but I think it's meant to be 4, using an unreleased guitar track from Hide. The band then got back together in a gigging capacity in 2008 and used a Hide hologram for the song Art Alive. That was the first video I actually saw of them, and I was hooked. I listened about 5 or 6 times the day I saw it. Absolutely fantastic. I'll leave a link down below in the description box if you've never checked it out. I think it's absolutely phenomenal, and since then I've been pretty much hooked daily by them. Hide continues to inspire millions of people even to this day. His signature Birdie Mockingbird is still on sale 18 years after he's definitely still one of the best selling guitars in Japan. And over the recent years of X Japan and his solo stuff, the bands have been performing using video and audio tracks of Hide on the screens behind them, and he is still influential to this day. Whether he's doing speed metal, riffing and solos of X Japan or pop punk hooks, he was an absolutely fantastic musician. I really wish he was still around. I really wish I got into them sooner, because I feel I've been missing out so much as a musician. I highly recommend you at least go check them out. The lyrics are primarily in Japanese, but I don't care. They are absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I'll leave a link down below in the description box if you want to go check out the Art of Life. That is probably one of my favourite songs of all time, despite the fact I've only heard it 4 months ago, and I think you'll probably love it too.
Something's wrong, something like maybe not tonight, and the honors the white. Dreams of war, dreams of lies, dreams of dragons fire, and the things that will fight.
So coming in number 3 is James Hetfield, the lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist of the band Metallica. And does that man need an introduction? I don't think he does, but you've got one anyway. If you want to learn how to metal riff, James Hetfield is your man. And if you want to learn how to pick better, learn some Metallica riffs, because James Hetfield's down picking technique is amongst the best in the world. Absolutely fantastic player. They have just been killing it time and time again, from the early days of Master of Puppets and even before that, right up until Hardwire, their latest album. They have just been knocking it out of the park. Except for Saint Anger, I'll give you that one, right? Regardless of what you think of Saint Anger, Metallica is still a fantastic band, and no one is knocking them off that platform anytime soon. So like I say, if you want to learn how to metal riff, learn some Metallica riffs, that will definitely help you out. So currently number 2 is Sinister Gates and Zaki Vengeance of the band Avenged Sevenfold. Once again, another duo, because I couldn't really decide which one inspires me more. I'd say Zaki Vengeance probably inspires me more because I'm a rhythm player, and also the reason why I play the Schecter S1 is because of Zaki Vengeance. But Sinister Gates is just in a whole other world when it comes to guitar playing. That guy is just phenomenal. That guy has to be ranked amongst the best in the world. Absolutely incredible player. I've been hooked on them since 2005. I heard the single Backcountry from City of Evil, and that was it. I was hooked. 11 years later, that is not slowing down anytime soon. I've owned all their albums. I listen to them a lot. I take a lot of inspiration in my own playing from them, and they're definitely, if anyone is going to knock Metallica off the top spot, in my opinion, Avenged Sevenfold would do it. I don't think they'll do it yet, but I think they have definitely got it within them, that when Metallica finally hang up their boots and hang up their guitars, I think Avenged Sevenfold will be on to take the top spot. They are absolutely fantastic. If you want to go check them out, I highly recommend starting with City of Evil, and maybe check out Waking the Fallen, and then the self-titled album. The 3 albums on that era are just absolutely phenomenal. They're actually all pretty good in their own way, but I'd say them 3 are probably the top, just in my opinion. The latest album, The Stage, was a grower, not a show, as M Shadows would say. Well, it was decent. But I'd say those albums are definitely worth checking out. If you want to learn how to play insane guitar solos, you want to learn how to play really awesome modern metal riffs, Avenged Sevenfold are definitely your band, and those players continue to inspire me over and over again. That is why they are number 2 on this list. Right, coming in number 1 is Slash, but with an honourable mention to Izzy Stradlin and Richard Fortus. When I think of a rock star, I think of Slash. He just looks like what I think a rock star should look like. Back in about 1999, I heard You Could Be Mine, November Rain for the first time. I didn't listen to rock music, I didn't really listen to music at all back then. And I saw a man with curly hair with a top hat on with a cigarette in his mouth, and he was playing something, and he was making some awesome sounds up. I didn't even know what a guitar was, but all I knew is whatever he was doing, I wanted to do that too. And from that moment on, I was hooked on the band. I got my first guitar a few years later, and that was it. I was just hooked. And I've got Slash to thank for that. If it wasn't for Slash, I might not be doing this video now. He continues to inspire me. He's the reason that I play Les Pauls and will continue to play Les Pauls. He is absolutely fantastic. Whether it's with Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver, his solo stuff just blows me away. I love everything that he's put out. And right, as I said, honourable mention to Izzy and Richard. Izzy is the backbone of Guns N' Roses. Although Slash was always the centre of attention when it came to the guitar playing, the band would not have been half of what it was without Izzy. He was definitely the backbone of the band. And in recent years, Richard has been doing that duty and been doing it exceptionally well. I think both of those guitar players are hugely underrated. Both are fantastic players. And with the semi-reunion that's going on, Slash and Richard are absolutely just killing it each and every night. And I really hope they make new music together because it's going to be absolutely fantastic. But as I said, just from my own personal standpoint, Slash is my most influential player. And without Slash, I might not be playing guitar, which in turn might mean that I not have this YouTube channel. Without, in turn, might mean that I'm not making this video right now. Maybe I would have. I probably would have still played guitar, but that was the guy that just made me go, that is what I want to do with my life. So that's why he's number one, and I just want to say thank you to Slash for the constant inspiration and making me want to do what I'm doing right now. So that is the end of the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know who your favourite guitar players are down below in the comment section. And then, like I said at the start of the video, a nice little peek behind the curtain, a bit behind the scenes, to where I get to talk about some things that I like. Obviously in this instance it was guitar players. If you want to see more like this, let me know in the comment section. Also suggest videos for me to do in the future. And if you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. My name is Doodles, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.